Ye- Your life, sir.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Namaste to all. Prostrating at the lotus feet of Brahmanishta Sadguru, Swami Virajeshwara Saraswati, and the entire Guru Parampara on behalf of all of us, today's discourse on Viveka Chudamani will continue. Last time we had stopped at the shloka number 310, 310. So from 311 onwards, we will continue today. ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರ ಹೋದ ಸಲ ಹೇಳಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ಮುಂದಿನ ಕೆಲವು ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಬಹಳ ಒತ್ತು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ವಿಷಯ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ವಿಷಯ. ಯಾವುದು? ವಾಸನೆಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ವಿಷಯ ಚಿಂತನೆ ಮತ್ತು ಕರ್ಮ, ಈ ಮೂರು ವಿಚಾರಧಾರೆಗಳನ್ನು ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ವಾಸನೆಗಳು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಹೋದ ಜನ್ಮಗಳಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರ ರೂಪಿ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆಗಳು, ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಉದ್ಭವವಾಗತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆಲೋಚನಾ ಲಹರಿಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ವಾಸನೆ, ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರ. ಅದರ ಫಲಸ್ವರೂಪವಾಗಿ ಆ ವಾಸನೆಗಳಿಂದ ಪ್ರೇರೇಪಿತವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಸ ಯೋಚನೆಗಳು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಯೋಚನೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಅನುಗುಣವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಕಾರ್ಯವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಇದು ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಮೂರು ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕ. ಸೊ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಕಮೆನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಯೂಶುವಲ್ ವಿತ್ ಮಂಗಳಾಚರಣ ಶ್ಲೋಕ. ಓಂ ಶ್ರೀ ಗಣೇಶಾಯ ನಮಃ. ಓಂ ಶ್ರೀ ಮಹಾಸರಸ್ವತ್ಯೈ ನಮಃ. ಸದಾಶಿವಸಮಾರಂಭಾಂ ಶ್ರೀ ಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯ ಮಧ್ಯಮಾಂ ಅಸ್ಮದಾಚಾರ್ಯ ಪರ್ಯಂತಾಂ ವಂದೇ ಗುರು ಪರಂಪರಾಂ. ಶ್ರುತಿಸ್ಮೃತಿ ಪುರಾಣಾನಾಮಾಲಯಂ ಕರುಣಾಲಯಂ ನಮಾಮಿ ಭಗವತ್ಪಾದಂ ಶಂಕರಂ ಲೋಕಶಂಕರಂ. ಶಂಕರಂ ಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯಂ ಕೇಶವಂ ಬಾದರಾಯಣಂ ಪುತ್ರಭಾಷ್ಯಕೃತೋ ವಂದೇ ಭಗವಂತೌ ಪುನಃ ಪುನಃ. ಸರ್ವವೇದಾಂತ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತ ಗೋಚರಂ ತಮಗೋಚರಂ ಗೋವಿಂದಂ ಪರಮಾನಂದಂ ಸದ್ಗುರುಂ ಪ್ರಣತೋಸ್ಮ್ಯಹಂ. ಓಂ ನಮೋ ಭಗವತೆ ವಿರಾಜೇಶ್ವರಾಯ. ಹರಿ ಓಂ. So 3 aspects Acharya is dealing in the next set of shlokas. That is the karma, the action, the activities, the vasanas, that is the impulses, the instinctive tendencies or impulses generated, stimulated instinctively for no reason, and the thoughts, consequentially the thoughts which are actually in response to the vasanas. The thoughts are generated in our mind. So Acharya is dealing with the urges or the instinctive tendencies, stimulations, the thoughts, sensuous thoughts, material thoughts, lustful thoughts, greedful thoughts, and consequentially the actions we perform according to our own mental thoughts generated due to vasanas. So 3 things are interlinked. Vasanas at the base, the thoughts. Vasanas lead to thoughts, the thoughts lead to actions, karma. Vasana, vishaya, chintane mattu karma. कार्य प्रवर्धनात् बीज प्रवृत्तिः परिदृश्यते. कार्यनाशात् बीजनाशः तस्मात् कार्यं निरोधयेत्. कार्य प्रवर्धनात् बीज प्रवृत्तिः परिदृश्यते. कार्यनाशात् बीजनाशः तस्मात् कार्यं निरोधयेत्. Here कार्य प्रवर्धनात् बीज प्रवृत्ति परिदृश्यते. Acharya is making very clear. Due to the kamya karmas, the more and more actions, the karmas we perform, the seeds of the vasana also they increase. So as our actions increase, the vasanas, bija, that is the seeds, also increase. Karyanashat bijanashah tasmat karyam nirodhayet. So he says, if your actions are stopped, karyanashah, if the action itself is forcibly stopped, consciously stopped, not yielding, then bijanashah tasmat karyam nirodhayet. The seeds also will not germinate. The seeds, vasanas, will not germinate. Therefore, karyam nirodhayet. So that is why, my dear disciple, Mumukshu, always don't yield to the urges. You wantonly, consciously stop all your actions, which ultimately lead to increase in the seeds of the vasana in your mind, so that you will never travel in the path of this spirituality. Your sadhana gets obstructed. The obstacles are themselves are nothing but your own actions generated because of the seeds, the vasanas. ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಾಮ್ಯ ಕರ್ಮಗಳು ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಆಸೆಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ಜಗತ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಸಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಆಸೆಯಿಂದ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ ಕರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವಲ್ಲ, ನಮಗೆ ಇದರಿಂದ ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಫಲ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಆಸೆಯಿಂದ ಆ ಕಾಮ್ಯ ಕರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿದಷ್ಟು ವಿಷಯ ವಾಸನೆ ಎಂಬ ಬೀಜಗಳು ಅವು ಪ್ರವೃದ್ಧಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಾಮ್ಯ ಕರ್ಮಗಳೇ ನೀವು ಮಾಡದೇ ಇದ್ರೆ ವಿಷಯ ವಾಸನ ಬೀಜಗಳು ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಪ್ರವರ್ಧಮಾನ ಆಗೋದನ್ನು ತಾನಾಗೆ ನಿಂತು ಹೋಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ನೀವು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಾಮ್ಯ ಕರ್ಮಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚಿಂತನೆ ಬಿಡಬೇಕು, ಕರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನ ಬಿಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ವಾಸನಾ ವೃದ್ಧಿತ ಕಾರ್ಯಂ ಕಾರ್ಯವೃದ್ಧಾ ಚ ವಾಸನಾ ವರ್ಧತೆ ಸರ್ವಥಾ ಪುಂಸಃ ಸಂಸಾರೋ ನ ನಿವರ್ತತೆ. ವಾಸನಾ ವೃದ್ಧಿತಃ ಕಾರ್ಯಂ ಕಾರ್ಯವೃದ್ಧ್ಯಾ ಚ ವಾಸನಾ ವರ್ಧತೆ ಸರ್ವಥಾ ಪುಂಸಃ ಸಂಸಾರೋ ನ ನಿವರ್ತತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಒಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅವಿನಾಭಾವ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಯಾವುದು? ವಿಷಯ ವಾಸನೆಗಳು ವಾಸನಾರೂಪಿ ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರಗಳಿಗೂ ಮತ್ತು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತತ್ಸಂಬಂಧವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಕರ್ಮಗಳಿಗೂ ಅವಿನಾಭಾವ ಸಂಬಂಧ, ಪೂರಕವಾದ ಅನ್ಯೋನ್ಯವಾದ ಸಂಬಂಧದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ವಿಷಯ ವಾಸನೆಗಳು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದಷ್ಟು, ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಬಲವಾಗಿ ಬಂದಷ್ಟು, ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಮ್ಯ ಕರ್ಮಗಳು ಅವುಗಳ ಆಸೆ ಪೂರೈಸಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಆಸೆಗಳ ಪೂರೈಕೆಗೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಕರ್ಮಗಳು ಅವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆಸೆಗೆ ಅನುಗುಣವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ಮಗಳು. ಸೊ ವಾಸನೆಗಳಿಂದ ಕರ್ಮ ವೃದ್ಧಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕರ್ಮಗಳು ವೃದ್ಧಿ ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಮತ್ತೆ ವಿಷಯ ವಾಸನೆ ಮತ್ತು ವೃದ್ಧಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಈಗ ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಅವಿನಾಭಾವ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇರೋದರಿಂದ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಈ ಸಂಸಾರ ಅನ್ನೋದು ತಪ್ಪಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ, ಜನನ ಮರಣ ಚಕ್ರ ತಪ್ಪಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ನಾವು ಆಚಾರ್ಯ is very beautifully is quoting here the direct proportional relationship between the vasanas and the resultant kamya karmas, the actions to fulfill our vasanas, to fulfill our desires, the particular actions we perform. So what he says, vasana vruddhyatha karyam karyavruddhya cha vasana. As our actions increase, as the vasanas increase, the urges increase in the mind, actions also will increase. Karyavruddhya cha vasana. As the actions increase, the urges and the vasanas, the seeds of the vasana also will increase. So both are interrelated. They are directly proportional. So the more the stimulations occur in our mind, the more and more the actions we perform. The more and more actions will lead to more and more desires. So the desires stimulate action, the actions stimulate desire. To give a very simple example for this, our Gurudev used to give a very beautiful example about this relationship between the stimuli, the urges, and the actions we perform. You know, once he said on this, a middle class person in our country, like India, he has a cherished dream of owning a car in life because it's a far-fetched thing. It's not possible. Nowadays, of course, it's possible. But 30 years back, 40 years back, you see, owning a car is a big desire. So when the desire is burning to own a car, four-wheeler, with all difficulty, with loans, he will buy a car, ordinary car, with a lower end car, costing less amount, say Maruti 800. Then he is so elated because the urge is fulfilled. So he goes here and there, makes a lot of loans, and then takes money, arranges money, saves money. So he's possessed with buying a car. See, so much of actions. After owning a car, Maruti 800, our Gurudev used to say this some 20 years back. Example. What happens? Within no time, he is not satisfied anymore. He will see other people owning bigger cars, higher end cars. Now, then he feels again depressed. He is not anymore happy with the Maruti 800. He wants to buy a new one, a new model with paying more money. So for that, he has to work more. He has to take another loan. So he will go here and there and then buy another car, costing little here. After 1 or 2 years, again the same thoughts. Again, his mind is not happy. He wants to buy another newer, higher end car with later facilities, modern facilities. Like that, he goes on changing one model to another model, one model to another model throughout, and he will be totally obsessed with all those actions, karmas, to possess the high-end cars. So there is no end. He is ultimately not satisfied in one sense. So the vasanas stimulate action. The actions stimulate the vasana. That is the point. Gurudeva used to tell me all this. So what happens? Because of sarvatha pumsaha samsaro na nivartate. So when the person is entangled in these things, the desires and actions, he is totally caught up in samsara. ತನ್ನ ಆಸೆಗಳ ಪೂರೈಕೆ, ಕಾಮ್ಯ ಕರ್ಮಗಳು ಹೊಸ ಒಂದು ಆಸೆ ಪೂರೈಸಿದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಆಸೆ ಬಂತು, ಅದನ್ನು ಪೂರೈಸೋ ಹೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಆಸೆ. ಇದು ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಸಂಸಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಳುಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಆಸೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಮಿತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕೊನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಆತ ಸಂಸಾರದಿಂದ ನಿವೃತ್ತಿ ಹೊಂದೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಜನನ ಮರಣ ಚಕ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಳಿದು ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸಂಸಾರ ಬಂಧ ವಿಚ್ಛಿತ್ಯೈ ತದ್ವಯಂ ಪ್ರದಹೇತ್ಯತಿಃ ವಾಸನಾ ವೃದ್ಧಿ ಏತಾಭ್ಯಾಂ ಚಿಂತಯಾ ಕ್ರಿಯಯಾ ಬಹಿಃ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಶ್ಲೋಕ. ಸಂಸಾರ ಬಂಧ ವಿಚ್ಛಿತ್ಯೈ ತದ್ವಯಂ ಪ್ರದಹೇತ್ಯತಿಃ ವಾಸನಾ ವೃದ್ಧಿ ಏತಾಭ್ಯಾಂ ಚಿಂತಯಾ ಕ್ರಿಯಯಾ ಬಹಿಃ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಶೀಲನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಜಿಜ್ಞಾಸು, ಉತ್ತಮ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ತನ್ನ ಸಂಸಾರ ಬಂಧನ ನಾಶಕ್ಕಾಗಿ, ಈ ಬಂಧ ಮೋಕ್ಷಕ್ಕಾಗಿ, ಈ ಜನನ ಮರಣ ಚಕ್ರದಿಂದ ಹೊರಬರಲಿಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಶಾಶ್ವತ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಹೊಂದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ನಾಶ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ತದ್ವಯಂ ಪ್ರದಹೇತ್ ಯತಿಹಿ. ಯತಿಹಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮನನಶೀಲನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಮುಮುಕ್ಷು ಉತ್ತಮ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿ ಅಂತ. ತದ್ವಯಂ ಪ್ರದಹೇತ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡನ್ನು ಆತ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಿಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಯಾವ ಎರಡನ್ನು? ವಾಸನೆಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತತ್ಸಂಬಂಧವಾದಂತಹ ಕಾಮ್ಯ ಕರ್ಮಗಳು ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವು ಎರಡರಿಂದಲೂ ವಾಸನಾ ವೃದ್ಧಿ ಏತಾಭ್ಯ ಚಿಂತೆಯ ಕ್ರಿಯೆಯ ಬಹಿ. ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಯೋಚನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಆಸೆಗಳು ಹುಟ್ಟುತ್ತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನ ಕರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ವಾಸನಾ ವೃದ್ಧಿ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ವಾಸನಾ ಕ್ಷಯ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಸಂಸಾರ ಬಂಧನ ಹೋಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಾಸನೆಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಕಾಮ್ಯಕರ್ಮಗಳು ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡಬೇಕು. ಪ್ರದಹೇತ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಪ್ರದಹೇತ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾಶಗೊಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು, ಪ್ರವೃತ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನ ನಾಶಗೊಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್. ಹಿ ಸೇಸ್ ಯತಿಹಿ ತದ್ವಯಂ ಪ್ರದಹೇತ್ ಸಂಸಾರ ಬಂಧ ವಿಚ್ಛಿತ್ಯೈ. Look, my dear disciple, if you want to come out of the samsara, if you want to be really liberated, if you want to be emancipated, if you want to escape from this cycle of birth and death, what you have to do? Tadvayam pradahet yatihi. Acharya says. Yatihi means the jijnasu, the one who is in the sadhana mode, the one who is a uttamadhikari, the one who wants to be liberated from this cycle of birth and death itself once for all. Acharya calls him as a yati. Yati. So he should tadvayam pradahet. So that he should destroy, remove, give up the two. What are the two? The vasanas, the urges, the stimuli, the instincts, tendencies, and correlated actions to fulfill your urges, to fulfill your urges. Samsara bandha vichhityai tadvayam pradahet. You have to give up the two. Acharya's assertively. See a simple example here. When an urge, the stimulus, vasana, samskara, it captures because of the previous birth influences. See, vasanas are carried as a result of your previous birth karmas, what we have performed, and those unfulfilled desires of the previous birth, unfulfilled aspirations of your previous birth, they attack you in the form of vasanas, urges, stimuli, instincts, natural tendency in the mind. One example, see, suppose a person is a drunkard, he has a drinking habit. It's okay, medically and although socially, he is stigmatized and outcasted. Family people despise him because he's a drunkard. Society people despise him because he's a drunkard. That's all one part of the life, material life. But the drinking habit, what has made him a total drunkard, that is due to his vasana. Vasana carried from the previous birth, unknown previous birth. We don't know. Probably he had that unfulfilled desire in some of the births, old births. So that has continued. Now he has become a slave to the drinking habit. So the vasana, the urge, has resulted him to become a drunkard now in this life. So similarly, some people always, they develop lustful urge. They become very lusty. They are always attracted towards opposite sex. So the sexual urge, instinct, vasana, too much developed in so many people. They want to always gratify their urge. They want to, indulge in to gratify their own lust, their own greed. Some are more attached to making all the time more and more money. They are obsessed, we say. Obsessed to accumulate, to possess. Throughout their life, they're only attached to making more and more money. What is the obsession? Like a devilish obsession, people say. Maybe that is an urge and a vasana coming from the previous birth. So all these urges, the greed, the lust, sensuous lust, sexual urge, drinking urge, etc., etc., etc. These are all vasanas. So vasanas lead to actions. Because of the urge, you indulge in appropriate action. So, because of the urge, you indulge in action. Acharya says, so you have to give up both. If you want to be in the field of, in the path of spirituality, my dear disciple, you analyze these two. When the urge is there, stop there. Analyze. Stop. Don't yield. The moment you yield, accordingly, you start doing some actions. The thoughts are generated. How to fulfill the urge? The thoughts will come. And according to the thoughts, you do something to fulfill the urge. See how they are interlinked, Acharya. How they are interlinked. Samsara bandha vichitya tadvayam pradahet yati. Vasana vruddhi etabhyam chintaya kriya bahi. He says next. So, by continuous thought, the thoughts generated and resulting actions, because of the thoughts, because of the thought waves, you do so many actions to fulfill the urge. So the thoughts, Vishaya Chintana, the thoughts in the materialistic life, the sensuous thought, lustful thoughts, the greedy thoughts, and the actions, Kriya Bahir Kriya, your actions outside. Thoughts are inside, actions are outside. So thoughts and actions, etabhyam, vasana vruddhihi etabhyam. So your urges are further, expand themselves. Like you are adding ghee into the fire will totally expand, burn faster. The more and more fuel, the more and more the ghee, more and more oil you are adding to the fire will burn and burn and burn brightly. So vasanas will increase because of the thoughts, and consequently because of the actions connected to your thoughts. Just a simple thought to own a car will lead you into so many actions like that. Here suddenly, by the grace of the Sadguru, I remembered, I don't know how I'll be able to convey this entire point, being a Ajnani myself. See, Sri Krishna Swami Iyer was most fortunate, one of the closest disciples of Sri Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswami. Sri Krishna Swami Iyer, coming from Tamil Nadu, his family itself was dedicated to the Sringeri Jagadguru Peetham. And later, the same Sri Krishna Swami Iyer took sannyas, Diksha, and his Diksha name was Jnanananda Bharati Mahaswami. And he has written in Tamil and also in English number of articles and treatises and memoirs on his guru, Sri Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswami. In one of his narratives, treatise, short treatise, now he writes an incident about the Mahaswami. When he was sitting with Mahaswami, Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal, in Ekanta, in solitude, in Sringeri, Jagadguru was most of the time, he used to be in Antarmukha, and very rarely, sometimes he used to become Bahirmukha, like a normal person. but he always used to remain most of the time silent. And Sri Iyer also used to sit with him very silent, because the satsanga of a jnani, a paramajnani, jivan mukta itself is enough. There is no necessity to talk. So Iyer used to keep very silently, quietly, looking at the lotus feet. Then once he observed that Mahaswami was sitting silently, almost in Bhava Samadhi or in Sahaja Samadhi, and his eyes were half closed. His gaze was somewhere fixed, and a little smile appeared on the lips of Mahaswamigal, and the lips slightly parted, and a faint smile appeared, and then he became normal again after a few seconds. Iyer observed this point. He was wondering what is happening. He could visualize clearly that Mahaswamigal suddenly smiled for no reason, which is beyond him to contemplate, and then he became again normal person. There was total silence. Then immediately after some time, Mahaswamigal opened the eyes fully. He became conscious of the surrounding. Then, like a monologue, he started telling, because Iyer, Sri Krishna Swami Iyer knew that he is in front of a Jivan Mukta Mahatman, Sakshat Dakshinamurti Swarupa Sri Chandrasekhar Bharati Mahaswami. So he had no audacity to intervene or poke or inject, give an injunction or ask curiously anything. He was totally silent, watching and listening. Mahaswamigal started his own monologue in front of Sri Krishna Swami Iyer. Look, suddenly a thought, a sankalpa, all of a sudden occurred in my mind, appeared in my mind. The thought, the sankalpa was to arrange a big homa, yaga, here in Sringeri for the sake of the Divine Mother, so that for the Loka Kalyana purpose, a yaga to be performed, that thought occurred, sankalpa, appeared from nowhere in the mind. Then the thought process continued. So, in order to fulfill this sankalpa, which a Divine Mother has put in my mind, then now I have to call the administrator of the Jagat Guru Peetham. At that time, Sri Srikanta Shastri, he was the administrator of Sringeri Sharada Peetham. So, Swamiji, Mahaswami continued. I have to call the administrator and other attendants, and I have to explain to them. Then they will put other questions and queries about the modality of the yaga, the nature of the yaga, the total, the way, whether it is to be simplified or magnified, how many people to be invited, how many Rutviks to be invited, how many Homakundas to be erected, whether it should be publicized to the all people, only a limited, whether everybody has to be invited. So all such questions will come, one after another, one after another. Then I have to answer all those questions. I have to give answers, sufficient answers to all those. So then I observed. So one single sankalpa gave rise to so many thoughts, one after another, chain of thoughts, chain of thoughts, chain of thoughts. Krishna Swami Iyer was eagerly awaiting that. Rarely he knew. Mahaswamigal never expressed any desire of whatsoever in their life in the Sringeri Peetham. Always he used to sit quiet and, and bless the devotees. And now the sankalpa is there for a yaga. He was elated. Iyer was elated. He was waiting what is going to happen. Then after some time, again, Jagat Guru continued. his monologue. Look, what I observed, one single thought sankalpa resulted in this mind to become more active, and then it started constructing so many other thoughts, chain-like thoughts, one after another. Then the questions started appearing in the mind about the nature of the Homa itself, how it should be performed. All connected thoughts appeared, and it went to such an extent, ultimately, when I was watching my mind as a pure witness, then the folly of this desire itself, the thought itself, the sankalpa itself is understood very clearly at that level. Then, as a witness, I simply laughed. I could not control. Why? Because look at the foolishness of the mind. Because of the urge, the vasana led to these thoughts, alochanas of to perform a yaga or a homa here in Sharada Peeth. Why it happened? So one thought gave rise to other thought. One single sankalpa gave rise to all the thoughts, and the mind became a cobweb of all such thoughts. So I wondered as a witness about the folly of the mind, how the mind is playing tricks, how the mind plays the tricks. That is why I wondered, and a smile appeared on my lips. So, Mr. Iyer, you might be wondering why the smile appeared on my lips. It appeared because of these thought processes generated in the mind, and as a witness, I ultimately understood the folly of that. I removed the urge itself, the sankalpa itself from the base. So now the mind became quiet. So no more stimulus, no more the sankalpa, no more the thoughts. Look at this. Look at this. So he again smiled, explaining all the intricacies to Sri Iyer. Hari Om. संसार बंध विच्छित्य तद्वयं प्रदहेत् यतिः वासना वृद्धि एताभ्यां चिन्तया क्रियया बहिः. Then Acharya continues, ताभ्यां प्रवर्धमाना सासु ते संस्कृतिमात्मनः त्रयाणां च क्षयोपायः सर्वावस्थासु सर्वदा. ताभ्यां प्रवर्धमाना सा सूते संस्कृतिम् आत्मनः त्रयाणां च क्षयोपायः सर्वावस्थासु सर्वदा. ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ? ಅವು ಎರಡರಿಂದ ತಾಭ್ಯಾಂ, ಅವು ಎರಡರಿಂದ ವಿಷಯ ವಾಸನೆಯು ಪ್ರವರ್ಧಮಾನ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಆಗ್ತಾ ವೃದ್ಧಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಆತ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಸಂಸಾರ ಬಂಧನವನ್ನು ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ತ್ರಯಾಣಾಂ ಚ ಕ್ಷಯೋಪಾಯ ಸರ್ವಾವಸ್ಥಾಸು ಸರ್ವದ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲೂ ಸಮೂಲವಾಗಿ ಈ ಮೂರನ್ನೂ ನಾಶ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಅದು ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಸೇಸ್, ತಾಭ್ಯಾಂ ಪ್ರವರ್ಧಮಾನ ಸ ಸೂತ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಂ ಆತ್ಮನಃ ತ್ರಯಾಣಾಂ ಚ ಕ್ಷಯೋಪಾಯಃ ಸರ್ವಾವಸ್ಥಾಸು ಸರ್ವದಾ. So, what he says here, because of the two, the vasanas urge, the instinctive urge will increase. Tabhyam, because of the two, What are the two? The thoughts, the desires in the form of thoughts, and subsequent actions connected with the thought, the two. So the thoughts and the action, abhyam, the two. Pravardhamana sa. These two will increase your vasanas, Vishaya vasana. And because of the increase of the Vishaya vasanas in the mind, samsrutim atmanaha sute. The samsara bandhana will continue for the individual. Your bondage will continue forever, my dear disciple. The bondage, samsara, will continue because the vasanas will increase because of the thoughts and actions. So, all the three, in all the time, all the way, they have to be completely destroyed, to be eliminated forcibly by conscious, determined willpower. My dear disciple Mumukshu, you have to remove, suppress, destroy all the three in all the time, consciously, with determination. It is difficult. You have to destroy. Kshayopayah trayanam cha. Sarvavasthasu sarvada. All the time, in all the avasthas. Try with total determination. All the three to be destroyed. What are the three to be destroyed? The vasanas, the urges. Subsequently, the thoughts or the desires sprouting in the mind. And the actions connected with that. All the three. All the three. So vasanas are just increase as a result, and they result in samsara to continue. So destroy all the three, vasana, thoughts, and actions under all conditions. And how it can be done? How it can be done? ಇದನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಬಿಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು. ಸರ್ವತ್ರ ಸರ್ವತಃ ಸರ್ವಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಮಾತ್ರಾವಲೋಕನೈಃ ಸದ್ಭಾವ ವಾಸನಾಧಾರ್ಡ್ಯಾತ್ ತತ್ರಯಂ ಲಯಮಶ್ನುತೆ. ಸರ್ವತ್ರ ಸರ್ವತಃ ಸರ್ವಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಮಾತ್ರಾವಲೋಕನೈಃ ಸದ್ಭಾವ ವಾಸನಾಧಾರ್ಡ್ಯಾತ್ ತತ್ರಯಂ ಲಯಮಶ್ನುತೆ. Next he gives the answer how the three consciously we can try to suppress. ಈ ಮೂರನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಿಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಅವುಗಳನ್ನು ಲಯ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು. ಯಾವುದು? ಈ ಮೂರು ನಾಶ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ವಾಸನೆಗಳು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆಲೋಚನೆಗಳು, ಆಸೆಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪೂರಕವಾದಂಥ ಕರ್ಮಗಳು, ಆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಇದನ್ನು ನಾಶ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ವಾವಸ್ಥೆ, ಸರ್ವಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ, ಸರ್ವತ್ರ, ಸರ್ವ ಪ್ರಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ವವನ್ನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಸ್ತುವೇ ಎಂಬ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ನೋಡುವುದೇ ಉಪಾಯ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಅಧಿಷ್ಠಾನ ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಅಮೂರ್ತದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತುವಿನ ಹೊರನೋಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ನಾನಾ ರೂಪ ವಿಧಿಗಳು, ಆಕಾರ, ನಾಮ ರೂಪಗಳು ಬೇರೆಯಾದರೂ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಸ್ತು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಪದಾರ್ಥವೇ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಒಂದೇ ವಸ್ತು, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಸ್ತು, ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು, ಆತ್ಮವಸ್ತು. ಇದನ್ನು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮನನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇದೊಂದು ಉಪಾಯ. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಾಸನೆ ದೃಢವಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಾಸನೆ ಬೆಳಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಸದ್ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಾಸನೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಬೆಳೆದಷ್ಟು ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಾಸನೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲೂ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಒಂದೇ ವಸ್ತು, ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ವಾತ್ಮ ಭಾವ. ಪ್ರಪಂಚ, ಈ ಸಂಸಾರ, ವಿಶ್ವ ನಾನಾ ರೂಪಗಳಿಂದ, ಗುಣಗಳಿಂದ, ಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳಿಂದ, ಆಕಾರದಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ನಾನಾ ರೀತಿ ಚಿತ್ತ ವಿಭ್ರಮವಾಗಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇದರ ಹಿಂದೆ ಇರೋದು ಒಂದೇ ವಸ್ತು. ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾಮ ರೂಪಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಷಯಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಕೃತಿಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಜೀವಿಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಸೆಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಇರೋದು ಒಂದೇ ವಸ್ತು, ಸದ್ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಭಾವ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಭಾವ. ಸದ್ಭಾವ ವಾಸನ ಧಾರ್ಢ್ಯಾತ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಸದ್ಭಾವ ವಾಸನ ಧಾರ್ಢ್ಯಾತ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಮೂಲಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನ ಮೂಲದಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಡಗಿಸುವಂಥದ್ದು ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಸರ್ವತ್ರ ಸರ್ವಾವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಪದಾರ್ಥ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ಅದರಿಂದ ಈ ಭಾವನೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಾಸನೆ ದೃಢವಾದರೆ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಭಾವನೆ ದೃಢವಾದರೆ, ಆ ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರ ಬಂದರೆ ಈ ವಾಸನೆಗಳಾಗಲಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಚಿಂತನೆಗಳಾಗಲಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಹೊಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ಮಗಳಾಗಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ನಾಶವಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತದೆ. So Acharya is making again very clear here how, with the help of the Brahma Bhava, with the help of Brahma Adhyatma Vasana or Brahma Vasana, the three we can try to defeat. You can win over, my dear disciple, over the thought processes and the vasanas, the tendencies leading to the thoughts, and consequentially the actions connected with the thoughts. All are interlinked. All are the urges stimulate the thoughts. The thoughts stimulate your actions. All are connected. All the three, how you can destroy, my dear disciple, only by developing sadbhava vasana dhardya tatrayam layamashti. So you have to consciously, forcibly develop by constant reflection and manana, by repeatedly remembering Upanishad Vachanas, repeatedly recalling to the memory what Upanishads have said, what the Shastras have said, what is the Guru's Upadesha given, what the Guru has, how he has explained. All those things we have to recollect and repeat. So by repeating the uktis, vachanas of Upanishad, manana, doing reflection, contemplation on that, thinking on that again and again, like a memory recall, always believing that everything is Brahman, everything is Ishvara. The Adhisthana itself is Brahma. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, famous Upanishad Vachana. Brahmai Vedam Vishwam, Mundaka Upanishad says, Brahmai Vedam Vishwam, the whole universe is nothing but Brahma. Mandukya says, Mandukya Upanishad says in simple, Idam Sarvam Yadaya Yat Ayamatma, Idam Sarvam Yat Ayamatma. This whole thing is nothing but Atma itself, self itself. Idam Sarvam Yat Ayamatma. Brahmaivahamasmiti. I am that Brahma Swarupa only. These are all, Upanishad Vachanas to him. I am Atma Brahma. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Whole thing is really nothing but Brahma Rupa, Brahma Padartha, appearing in different, diversified names and forms. Appearing in a diversified names and forms. But ultimately, the Adhishthanam, everything is on the base. The base substratum is that Brahma Padartha. Ultimately, everything is that only. See, this Sadbhava Vasana Dhardhyat, Acharya, key word Dhardhyat means by force. It cannot happen in one day. See, our urges, the instinctive urges, you cannot give up in one day. We know that. If you tell the drunkard to stop drinking completely, it is not possible. By force, you may put him behind a bar in a closed prison cell, not allow him to go out and then don't give him a bottle of drink, whatever it is, okay. But he cannot stop the urge. The urge is always there. It is difficult to remove the urge. So here what Acharya is telling, please remember, Acharya is explaining the highest truth to the qualified Uttama Adhikari, to such a mumukshu, to such a jijnasu who is really qualified, who has determined to be at the feet of the Guru, sit and get the Upadesha, and to continue in the path of sadhana, and he wants to be liberated in this birth itself. He wants to be liberated while living itself. For such a mumukshu who is desirous of reaching the ultimate goal of the life, he wants to fulfill the parama uddesha of the life, to know in really who I am. Am I this body with a name, status, mind, the buddhi, or am I something different? Am I going to live permanently or die along with the body? So for these questions, the answer, well, though that is the real mumuksha. So for him, all the Upadesha is going. Please remember that. How we have to take all these things. These are the guiding principles for ajnanis like us, householders like us. These apta vachanas, these instructions, these upadeshas, what Sakshat Shivaswarupa, Brahmaswarupa Acharya Shankara Bhagavatpada is rolling out to the disciple, they are important for us because they are the guiding beacon in our life, how to conduct ourselves, how to emancipate ourselves as far as possible in this birth itself. This will propel all of us towards the path of perfection, the pilgrimage towards perfection. So we have to strive, not necessarily without an eyelid blinking, that it is not possible for me in this birth. I am not cut out for these things in this birth. This I will never understand in this birth. All these things we have to give up consciously. With a determination we have to try. With a Shraddha and Bhakti we have to try. We should have that faith. ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಂಬಿಕೆ, ಶ್ರದ್ಧೆ ಬಲವಾದಷ್ಟು ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ನಡಿಬೇಕು, ಜೀವನದ ಪರಮ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಪುರುಷಾರ್ಥವನ್ನು ಗಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಆಸೆ ಇದ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೂ ಅಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯರ ಉಪದೇಶಗಳು ಕೇವಲ ಉತ್ತಮ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸಿದ್ರು ನಮಗೂ ಸಹ ದಾರಿದೀಪ. ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕು, ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಪ್ರವೇಶ ಪಡಬೇಕು, ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸಂಸಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದು ಸಂಸಾರವಂದಿಗರಾಗಿ ಗೃಹಸ್ಥರಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು, ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಮಮಕಾರಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ತ್ಯಾಗ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಮೂಲ ಪ್ರೇರಣೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಸದ್ಭಾವ ವಾಸನ ದಾರ್ಢ್ಯ ತತ್ರಯಂ ಲಯಮಶ್ನುತೆ. ವಾಸನೆಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಆಸೆಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟ ಕರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನ ಈ ಮೂರನ್ನು ಬಿಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಾಸನೆ ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿಯಾಗಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂಥನಿಂಗ್ ದ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಾಸನ, all these things are. So let us not be disheartened. Acharya says, by constant effort, you try, my dear disciple, you try. Sarvatra sarvatah sarvam brahma matra avalokanyaihi. Always you try to remember, in whatever situation you are there, you convert that situation towards identifying the underlying Parabrahma Vastu there. So that, if not possible, totally surrender to the Ishvara, Narayana. Totally surrender yourself. With all the serious level of Parama Bhakti, devotion, prostrate at the feet of your Guru or Lord, begging him, saying that all the time my mind is flooded with the urges and urges and urges, lustful urges, greedy urges, what to do? Bhagavan, help me to come out of this such urge. That is the last refuge. The refuge, we have to be at his lotus feet. Hold his lotus feet tightly. These are the injunctions Acharya is giving to us. We have to follow. We have to follow. The spiritual path means it is not that easy. We must have the determination. ಇದು ಕೇವಲ ಓದಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ವಿಷಯ ಅಲ್ವಲ್ಲ. ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಕಷ್ಟಪಡಲೇಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಕಷ್ಟಪಡೋದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೃದಯ ತೆರೆದಿರಬೇಕು. ಹೃದಯ ನಿರ್ಮಲವಾದಷ್ಟು, ಹೃದಯದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಶ್ಮಲಗಳು ದೂರವಾದಷ್ಟು ಭಗವಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಫುಟವಾಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಭಾವ ಸ್ಫುಟವಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಹಾತ್ಮರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೃದಯ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಭಗವಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಾನೆ ಹೊರತು ನೀವು ಮಾಡೋ spiritual. When Bhagavan Buddha was after enlightenment, he was traveling all over India and then preaching. So a lot of people became his disciples. They were enamored by his magnetic personality, his beautiful, his color, that radiation, that radiant smile coming from his lips and eyes, his total tranquil mood, that prashanta manas reflecting from his face. People were attracted all the time. Once a beautiful, well famous prostitute in one of those principalities, royal palaces, she saw once Bhagavan Buddha giving discourse. She was attracted by his physical beauty. She was totally attracted by his physical beauty and became possessed so much. So, in one night, when Bhagavan Buddha was resting alone, this lady, with all her makeup and dazzling dress and then jewels and flowers on her head, with perfumes sprinkled on her body, with a smile, she entered his room. Thinking that he will accept her. She was so much, sexually attracted. Her urge was so much, sexual urge was so much, that her Vishayavasana was to the peak. She wanted to have really sex with Bhagavan Buddha. That was the point. She entered with all her, tantrums and that looks and everything. She wanted to mesmerize, hypnotize, attract Bhagavan Buddha towards him, her. Immediately after seeing her at odd hour in the night, a beautiful lady, with all her tantrums, with all the kamavasana oozing from her mind and body and lips and eyes, Bhagavan Buddha immediately stood up, folded his hands in front of her and uttered these sentences. Well, mother, here is your son. You have come at this odd hour in the night, all the way here. You could have just sent word, your son, myself, I would have come, stood at your feet to serve you. What can I do, my dear mother? How can I help you? With a serene smile, with an open mind, with an open heart, he poured out his divine love to the lady, calling her as mother.